So basically, sometimes I spend hours thinking and imagining about the same situations. I repeat conversations, make assumptions out of that, and put myself in situations that are not true. Why? Just because my brain is overthinking. And the worst thing is, it affects the friendships and relationships around you because the imaginary conversations are not true and it changes how we think people might be. The question arises, why do we overthink and why we put ourselves in random situations and imagine the worst thing possible? Because human brain is designed to predict danger and avoid uncertainty. We want to know the things before they actually happen to avoid the shock. We always want to calculate the risk. So is it bad to think about your future? No, but it is bad to think too much. When we think too much, we start to treat imagined problems as the real ones that make us fear rejection, assume the worst, and that emotionally drain us. The interesting thing about brain is that it doesn't clearly know what is real and what is not. So when you imagine an embarrassing conversation of someone rejecting you, then you can still feel anxious and you can still increase your heart rate by just imagining that. That's why overthinking feels so real when nothing has actually happened. Your brain is simply running a simulation trying to protect you, but sometimes it ends up scaring you instead. So it's common if you are a human. One thing I've learned is that overthinking is not a sign that you are weak or broken. In fact, many intelligent people overthink because their brain are big enough to, predict every possible possibilities that can happen in their lives. Problem isn't that your brain thinks a lot. The problem is that it keeps thinking without reaching a conclusion. So let's talk about how to deal with this and how to overthink less. So the best way to avoid overthinking is to fool your mind and keep it busy. So whenever I find myself in this situation, I usually watch a podcast. Yes, a podcast. Because it helps me involved or it helps me get involved in the conversations between the two people, and at the same time I'm learning something new. I forgot about my thoughts and get interested in what other two people are talking on the screen. And this keeps the flood of thoughts from my mind away. This reduces the flood of thoughts in my mind. And if you're not interested in a podcast, then you can play your favorite sport, you can perform your favorite activity, you can perform your favorite hobby, or you can talk to people. The goal is to keep your mind busy. And in this way, you shift your focus to something meaningful and avoid yourself from random situations that you're thinking in your mind. But can we always avoid our thoughts? No. At some point, we have to consider them. So, the best way to process overthinking is to keep a time slot to worry about. For example, I'm stressed on a particular thing, like I'm thinking about a particular thing so much. So, I will decide to keep a time slot, for example, from 11 a.m. to 11:30, that in this time period, I will think about this problem only and I'll worry about this problem in this time slot. So, in that particular time period, I'll completely think about my thoughts and write it down on a paper. And when I write it down on the paper, half of my problem is gone. And once you write them on paper, they suddenly become smaller and you get more clear in your mind. That particular time slot saves your day, and after that time slot, you will get back to work straight, no more thinking. You have to think only in that particular time slot. And when you repeat this process again and again each day, then this way you will see that you are overthinking less and you're thinking less on your thoughts, and naturally you will be able to create solutions to all your problems. Your brain actually loves boundaries. Teach your brain that you have to think in this particular time period only, no more thinking in the whole day, and this can save you a lot of time and a lot of your energy. And also, don't overthink about that you are overthinking so much. You have to process it slowly. And if you have some plans, take action, because taking action automatically kills overthinking. When you do things in the real world, you stop caring much about future. There's another reason why action helps so much. Your brain loves from evidence, not just by imagination. Your brain loves evidence, it wants evidence. So this will help you, reduce your imagination when you get things done. And in this way, the action is the strongest cure for your overthinking. Another thing that has helped me saved from overthinking is that asking one simple question to myself when I'm doing that is that, do I have enough information to talk about this, or to think about such a problem? Do I have enough information on this topic to think about it? And most of the time the answer is no. I always try to solve a problem without having all the facts, and that's the overthinking. So you have to ask yourself the question, am I having all the information to talk on this topic? No, you don't have all the information. You just mess up with the random facts in your mind that are not true. When your brain realizes that you are solving an imaginary problem, then it slowly starts letting it go. Overthinking isn't your enemy. It is your little brain trying to protect you every time, but you don't have to believe every thought that comes in your mind. The next time you find yourself stuck in hundreds of thoughts, just pause and ask yourself, is this actually happening, or my brain is only predicting things? And that one question can bring you back to reality.